Hello everybody, and let me introduce you to a new friend of mine. This is my new tripod, which is an Innorel RT90C. I'll show the model number right there, which is, as you can see, it's a bit of a beast, but I have to admit it's a very nice beast. So let me just get this thing out, and do you know, I don't even know if there's enough room here to actually get the thing up. But let's give it a try and see what happens. See, I elected to do this here so that at least I was in the dry and in the warm, and so on and so forth. So that just about fits. This is a beast of a tripod. However, for a landscape photographer like me, it is a fantastic tripod. It is built like a tank. It's got huge thick legs, 3 sections, up to a good height, which if you include the tripod head as well, it's way above my head, and it's wonderful. I love it. It is a bit on the heavy side. I'll put the weight of the tripod over here, but yeah, it's a great tripod. Now it does beg the question, why have I gone for a tripod like this? Well, I have a little list that I made earlier. So my previous tripod, which I don't have anymore because I put it on eBay, was a Manfrotto 290 Extra. Lovely tripod, did the job, no complaints. No complaints whatsoever, apart from one. And that was that occasionally, just occasionally, I found myself wanting more height from the tripod. And forgive me for trying to sort of do this Heath Robinson. So the maximum height for this tripod, this is 160 centimeters high, not including the geared head. The maximum height of the Manfrotto, which will come to about there, is 137. So that's the maximum height of the Manfrotto tripod without using the center column. Yes, I could go higher. In fact, I could go higher than this with the center column on the Manfrotto. But as anybody that knows their stuff, as soon as you start to use the center column, certainly at any height, you start to introduce some instability. And if you're using a long lens, say a 70 to 200, or I actually have a 100 to 400 at home, then any movement at all, especially when you're using the lens at the long end, it's going to be really, really exaggerated. And I was finding lots of situations, or not lots of situations, increasing situations, where I was finding I wanted more height from the Manfrotto, and my only option was to use the center column. So much so that I then started to look at alternatives. Now, I've had this tripod for about 12 months. Right now, there are other alternatives out there, but at the time, this was the highest tripod I could get for the money that I was prepared to pay. There are other offerings from Benro, but they were about twice the price for this. I can't remember who introduced me to Innorel as a make, but I managed to get this second hand for a little under 300 UK pounds. The version that I had comes with a center column, which I'm not using, but that's an additional 80 UK pounds if I was to go and buy that brand new, and the one that I bought came with it. It also had the option for a bowl head, very similar to what Thomas Heaton uses, where you could actually alter the tilt of the top of the tripod just by undoing a locking nut. Now, I don't use that with this tripod. simply because of me using a geared head, which I think is only just about in frame, but because I use a geared head, I use the geared head to alter all of the angles at the top of the tripod. I don't shoot panoramics that often, so really not much of a pain for me. Also, if I was to add the bowl head, it probably adds around about 100 grams to the weight of this tripod, which, bearing in mind it's reasonably heavy already, is something that I don't really want, especially as I don't use it very often. I'm just having a look at my list of stuff. Yeah, so that was the other thing. There were a couple of occasions where my Manfrotto wasn't quite man enough for the conditions that I found myself in. So heavy wind is a good example. With the Manfrotto, I could get away with it by spreading the legs wider and creating a more stable platform. But of course, as soon as you do that, the height of the tripod goes down. And then I'm back to using the center column, which if you're in a heavy wind, is quite frankly a complete and total waste of time. With this, because it's so damn sturdy, so damn big, and I mean, I can't show you the area that it takes up with the legs down. I have also got a hook under here if I chose that I could hang my bag on, but I haven't actually ever found a need to use it. But even in, I would say even in the strongest of winds that I've been in, this just stands up to it and does the job. Whereas every once in a while, the Manfrotto didn't. It got blown over, or I had a couple of occasions where it did actually lift. This doesn't. This just seems to be a slightly more stable and sturdy platform. Also, this tripod's got the twist and lock type leg extensions. And I heard a nifty little phrase the other day, because I always get these the wrong way around. Which way to lock and which way to unlock. But I heard a phrase the other day. It was loosey lefty, righty tighty. So you turn it to the left to make it loose. You turn it to the right to make it tight. I've had that phrase running around in my head for the last few weeks, every time I've used this tripod or the travel tripod that you're on. So yeah, loosey lefty, righty tighty. Excellent. Never going to forget that, am I? Right, let's have another look at my list. I think that's it. No, center column. So the other disadvantage of a center column is the fact that occasionally I wanted to get really low to the ground. Now, I'm already paying a bit of a price using this geared head because it is quite tall. But if you've got a center column that comes down to sort of, roughly here, you're never going to get really, really low to the ground. A lack of a center column means that I can collapse this so it's more or less level with the ground, and all I've got to contend with is this bit. I could even remove this little extension piece above the tripod head if I chose, because it's only just on finger tight. There we go, look, I've loosened it already. Which would get me down even more. But with the Manfrotto, I couldn't do that. I think there was a way of turning the center column upside down and then having the camera upside down, but oh blimey, what a faff. Whereas this, I can just extend the legs out, I pull that out, and then it goes, it'll go to any angle that you choose, and there you go, job done. So that was another not deciding factor from moving away from the tripod, the Manfrotto tripod, but definitely something that made me think, do you know what, I've got a problem to solve here and I need to find a solution. So for me, at the moment, the RT90C is my solution to all of my tripod needs. There is a penalty, and that's the weight of this thing. It is big and it is heavy. And if I was going on a long walk, then I would probably take my travel tripod, the one that you're on right now, my little Vanguard, rather than taking this thing. However, if I was able to park a short distance from where it is I'm going in the car, park up and then walk, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour maybe, then I would favour this. And I would favour it because I know I've got a nice, stable, secure platform from which to think about my composition and think about what it is I need to do to my camera in order to get the best out of the situation that I'm in. And I've just got that little thing going in my head. Lefty loose, righty tighty. There we go. My new beast of a tripod. Time will tell whether I've made the right choice or not. Somebody said to me a long time ago, choose once, don't spend a fortune. And it's a good mantra. Don't go and spend lots of money making lots of mistakes. Try and spend only once and make the right choice. But I don't know. We shall wait and see. At the moment, I'm loving this. Next time I'm doing a long walk or a reasonably long walk and I've not brought the travel tripod with me, then maybe I'll be thinking, perhaps I should have bought a lighter or done a bit more research or just waited. At the time of recording this video, there are more options out there. Benro now do a range of tortoise tripods that are a very similar height to this, but they're nowhere near as thick and sturdy, and they're not a bad price either. In fact, when I paid for this, you'd be able to buy maybe 2 of those tortoises. So yeah, time will tell. At the moment, I'm loving it, and I'm loving it for the reasons that I just described. It's simple, straightforward, rugged, just a little bit on the heavy side. And certainly it makes heads turn when I rock up somewhere and there's, lots of photographers there and they look at me with this thing and, oh my God. And then I've got that little Sigma on top of it, or maybe better still, that little film camera. Perhaps when I have my medium format beast on here, maybe it won't turn quite so many heads, but then again, maybe the medium format will turn heads, I don't know. But that's all I had to say on this one. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment. Tell me about your choice of tripod and why it works for you. Also, if you've got this height challenge, what's your solution? How do you get around it? What model of tripod have you got that enables you to fix the problem that I was having with my original Manfrotto? I don't have the Manfrotto anymore, by the way. I sold it on eBay, Christmas last gone. Sold it to a chap in Italy who gave me some very nice feedback. He was very, very, very pleased with his purchase. Right. That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider becoming a subscriber if you're not already a subscriber. And if you like the content, please give it a like. Until the next video, when hopefully we're actually back out in the landscape. I'm not out today because it's pouring with rain. Yeah, take care, stay safe and stay well. Cheerio for now.